आज हम बात करेंगे समाजशास्त्र के मानवतावादी अभिमुखन के बारे में, which is Humanistic Orientation of Sociology. When we use word orientation, जिसे हिंदी में अभिमुखन कहते हैं, means a kind of inclination to use or do something in a particular way. कि आप कोई कार्य कैसे करेंगे या किसी चीज़ को कैसे देखेंगे, आपकी रुचियां क्या हैं उनमें सोचने, समझने और देखने की, यह हमारे ओरिएंटेशन या अभिमुखन का द्योतक है। There are two types of sociological orientations in sociology. Number one, scientific orientation या वैज्ञानिक अभिमुखन, and number two, humanistic orientation या मानवतावादी अभिमुखन। साइंटिफिक ओरिएंटेशन के बारे में हम अलग से बात करेंगे। यहाँ पर हम मानवतावादी अभिमुखन या ह्यूमनिस्टिक ओरिएंटेशन पर ही अपने ध्यान को केंद्रित करेंगे, उसे समझने का प्रयास करेंगे। बट ये कहना जरूरी है कि सोशियोलॉजी हैज largely been a self-labeled science. अपने प्रारंभिक दौर से लेकर के, जब समाजशास्त्र की स्थापना हुई तब से लेकर के और अभी भी वर्तमान समय में भी सोशियोलॉजी अपने आप को यह प्रमाणित करने में लगा रहा है कि यह प्राकृतिक विज्ञानों की तरह ही एक विज्ञान है। Like the way natural sciences are committed to make law of nature, similarly, sociology also can make laws about society. Understandably, the development of sociology has a great bearing of the era of enlightenment and scientific developments and discoveries which ensued thereafter. So there was a big name and demand and celebration of science and discoveries and the knowledge which were put forth. So understandably, sociology also had to follow that path, and had to pose or invent itself as a science to get legitimacy about what it says regarding society. And since beginning, the scientific orientation of sociology has been and still largely remains the dominant orientation of sociology. But here we are going to understand and stress the need and relevance of humanistic orientation. Why? Because humanistic orientation becomes important in the context that the supremacy, universality, and so-called celebrated epistemology of science and its unquestioned and blind application to social sciences has been and becoming more and more questionable and doubtful. People have raised serious doubts and questions about this supremacy and legitimacy of science. There have been some prominent advocates of humanistic orientation in sociology. The most prominent of them was Alfred Schutz, a very important name in phenomenological branch of sociology. Then you had Harold Garfinkel, Cicero, C. Wright Mills, Alvin Goldner, and most importantly, Peter L. Berger. Humanistic sociology, going by the researches and propositions of the advocates of humanistic sociology, is not really very difficult to define and understand. For the humanistic sociologists, sociology is primarily about how to make a better world, the world which we live in, how it becomes a degree better to live. So, how do we go about it? What sociology should do and how it should do that its findings are geared up to making this world more livable. And therefore, the key commitment of a humanist sociologist is to the people. It is the people who matter the most. An economist, Kenneth Boulding, very relevantly noted that the question for the social sciences is simply that what is better and how do we get better? What is better and how do we get there? Perhaps this is the concern and this is the conversation which is central to the idea of humanistic sociology. It is a kind of conversation that values the importance of human values, societal values. As a discipline, we need to be understanding, designing, and implementing a social system which is for people. And it is not a concern which plugs people into the system which does not understand or meet their needs. The question becomes then that what tools do we have, or what knowledge do we possess? What understanding will ultimately make this world a better place for all people to live in? Humanistic sociology must be an exploration of effective social arrangements, institutions, and social forms that improve the conditions of living. Sociology is therefore for people. We begin with, in humanistic sociology, by analyzing human needs and then work towards developing a society that meets those needs. If you really understand the concern of Comte, Ward, Small, Sorokin, and Baker, all of them have a common idea. All of them, some way or the other, propose that sociology is a superordinate science. And it is a superordinate science in service of humanity. To say it is a superordinate science means that it synthesizes various disciplines and then uses that synthesis to forge a shared agreement about how to create a better world. It is often expressed with varying degree that humanistic sociology, as compared to sociology with scientific orientation, is inherently kind of softer and less rigorous sociology than what positivistic or empirical sociology would want. Why? Because humanists employ materials that is seldom quantifiable, like they are dealing with soft facts, and hence supposedly less accurate. And then the technically sophisticated, statistically analyzed data, which is so important for empiricists, is wanting there. So, in this background, we try to understand what are the prominent underlying epistemological assumptions or understanding of humanistic orientation in sociology. There are several number of them. We'll talk about them in next part.